In this lecture, we will look at the concentrations of greenhouse gases in our atmosphere. We will look at the trends from about 800,000 years ago till today, and we will give extra attention to the recent changes in greenhouse gases concentrations. If we look at the data from about 800,000 years ago till today, we will notice that the CO2 concentration was mostly fluctuating between 190 to below 290 part per million. If we look closely at a couple of time durations in which greenhouse gases concentrations were increasing, we'll notice the average increase rate was 6 to 10,000 part per million per year. This increase is due to natural occurring phenomena like volcanoes or naturally occurring fires. Now, let's start looking at recent changes. In 1760, the Industrial Revolution was kicking in. In that year, 1760, the CO2 concentration was about 277 part per million. In January 2016, the CO2 concentration reached 402 part per million. That's an average increase of about 0.5 part per million per year. This rate is 800 times faster than the natural trends we examined earlier. But let's go ahead and break that down a bit more. From 1760 to 1880, CO2 concentration went from 277 part per million to 290 part per million, increasing by 13 part per million at an average rate of 0.1 part per million per year. From 1880 to 1970, CO2 concentration went from 290 part per million to 325 part per million, increasing by 35 at an average rate of 0.4 per year. In 1970, the usage of oil reached a peak, in which it was widely used in different industries. From that year, 1970, to January 2016, CO2 concentrations went from 325 to 402 part per million, increasing by 77 at an average rate of 1.7 per year. That's 2,800 times faster than the natural trends we examined earlier. This rate of increase is high enough for climate scientists to claim that they have never seen such a rate of increase in the 65 million years record of carbon dioxide levels. And because of how fast this is and how new it is very difficult to predict how Earth would respond to such drastic changes. Just a note on the side, we often give special attention to carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere because it is the most related to human industrial activities. However, if we are to compare an equivalent concentration of carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide, we'll still get a big jump. For example, if we compare the year 1300, which was a natural peak in greenhouse gases, to the year 2014, we'll notice that the equivalent concentration went from around 370 to 530 part per million CO2 equivalent. So here's a conclusion. Just by looking at this unnatural trend of greenhouse gases increase in the atmosphere, we can say that there is something going on, something that is not very normal. So what are the global effects that are taking place as a result of this unusual rate of increase in the greenhouse gases concentrations? We'll start talking about that next.